Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Are our camera angles all?
I think we're good. We're
angled
Mike
up.
Jeffries helping out with
Shout out
video
to
today,
Mike.
who we've shout out numerous times before.
Who's been on the pod?
He has been on the pod.
Thanksgiving.
Briefly.
Yeah, he showed up at the end. It was great. They just crashed in with a bottle of whiskey and we're like,
We did a Thanksgiving episode with just like a bunch of friends, like Bradley Crow, maybe you guys know, Mike, and just like a few other people.
your husband.
And
Yep.
yeah, your husband
He
too,
popped in with Mike.
who you might know.
You might know him.
And
I've heard of that guy.
it's like we were just like talking for like a good like hour or something, and then I get a call from Mike. And Mike's like, "We're coming over." Like, okay, like there's not like really room, but like we can make it work. Sure.
There's not enough seats at the table or mics.
So funny.
Like sharing chairs and mics.
And you
It was
guys
awesome.
just jammed, right? Did
Yeah,
you?
we jammed for like
just
an hour.
tracked and released that.
Yeah,
like-
going through the recording was entertaining to say the least.
Yeah, we used like maybe like a total of 3 minutes out of the 5-hour jam.
We
It was bad.
I think it was 90 minutes of audio, and we used 3 of them.
I think that's right.
Yeah,
And then there's a clip of Gray just like hitting a boot in between.
yeah.
Yeah, it was an event.
Empty whiskey bottle became like a percussion instrument somewhere in there. It was great.
So fun, so fun.
Well, we are joined today by the Arcadian Wild. Thank you so much for coming on, y'all.
Yes, thank you.
So excited.
Should we acknowledge at any point that should we act like Lincoln is here? Or should we?
We could go.
My Photoshop skills aren't good enough.
Okay.
So we
Yeah.
probably should
We
acknowledge it.
we're 3 out of 4 right now.
Yeah.
We're 75% Arcadian Wild.
Yes.
And loading.
And loading. Currently loading. We will have a Lincoln at one point.
Yes,
At
yes.
some point.
We sabotaged him. I sent him the wrong address. We're just trying to
sent him
keep
to
him on his
Clarksville.
toes. Yeah.
He's making his way back.
That's right. That's right.
But how are y'all doing? 3 out of 4
Yeah,
people. Great.
This is the 1st time I've seen Isaac, and we'll be seeing Lincoln since 2024. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Busy
We've been
year. Yeah,
we've
you've
been apart.
tracking.
Yeah.
we needed it.
Yeah.
No.
No, this is like truly. I feel like the winter season is the longest time we're ever apart from each other. Usually, like you, because the rest of the year we see each other every week,
Yeah, I was thinking about
and then the
that.
downtime in the winter,
Yeah.
kind of split up a little bit.
Because we'll have bands on here from time to time, like for the podcast and like in the studio and whatnot. But and I say it almost every podcast, but like it seems like there's less and less bands these days, and like there's more artists. So it's got to be almost kind of tricky to maintain the relationship of a band, over time, as opposed to just like you're meeting a new session musician that's just like sitting in with you out of the blue. Like, I don't know. Do you guys do like band dinners from time to time?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Eli makes a mean pizza.
he does.
Yeah,
Ooh.
he'll do pizza night for us. Yeah.
Eli, you can use Lincoln's mic
Yeah.
to speak
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you need
come
to.
on up.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Is the secret in the crust or the sauce, you think?
I mean, I hope it's the crust because I spend like an hour kneading it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
from
it better be
scratch.
the crust.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair
Gotcha.
enough. Yeah.
And I heard a couple mentions of a UK tour. When was y'all's UK, your last little UK run?
Yeah, so that is there is a Christian artist named Andrew Peterson, and it's his tour that we feature on. Like we're like a guest spot.
Cool.
And we've done that for the last 4 years.
wow.
And so that's always in December. So starting I guess we started like November 30th or something. Did some US shows and then went to the UK for 4 shows at the end of December.
Nice.
Yeah.
And y'all put out a Christmas EP last
We-
year.
yes.
Was that a big part of it? Was
Yeah.
Christmas stuff?
Yeah, we wanted to. I guess we've like talked about doing that for a while, and then we, the only chance we really get to play that music is on the Christmas tour. So
Yeah. It's like 1 month out of the year, all
Yeah.
the Christmas stuff comes out for a little bit. Do y'all have like when y'all go over there? Do you have go to, now that you've done it like 4 years, you'll have go to spots or like things you have to eat or do when you go over there? Or?
Well, so this was the first time we went to the UK for the tour.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha. Okay.
But
You've
we
just been
loved
on-
it. We had so much
Yeah,
fun.
how was that experience?
Yeah. Well, we do so little since it's not our tour. We are just kind of, we're just mooching for
Yeah, we get
like
to
the whole
play.
thing. And then, we get to just play around. And so there was a day off in London, day off in Edinburgh the first day we got there. And we just walked around. There was so much beer. That's just like all there was.
Yeah,
It was
They're
just
really
like,
into that over
yeah, it was just like pubs on every corner, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's just what we did. It was like, I think we would leave the pub as a group. And I think we would all try to be like, well, we probably shouldn't go back to another pub. But like 5 minutes later, we'd be like, where's the nearest pub? And then you turn around, it's like, oh, right there. Great.
Yeah.
Are y'all all Guinness people, or did you kind of just go with something different?
No, we like the cask ales, which aren't really a thing
yes.
here.
Yeah, there's a lot over there that we don't get. Over
Yeah,
here.
I can't remember
Yeah.
which ones I had or like what brands or breweries I had, but those I always went for the cask
There's a
ales.
place, because when I got back, I looked. I was like, cask ales in Nashville, and there's one place that has
really?
them.
Really?
And it's what is it? It's in East. It's like over by the football stadium, like Barrique Brewing or
Barrique.
something. Is that what it's called? Barrique?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you know
shoot.
the lore of Barrique?
I have no, but
It's
I
really
love
cool.
that there's lore.
There's lore.
What is the
There's
lore?
lore. So it's like this isn't right, but it's something like this. It's like some sound guy that works for some big name like Blake Shelton or something. When he was on the road, he would barrel age these beers. And then when he'd come back from the road, he'd open up shop and then open up the barrels and they'd sell them that way. But kind of just like a cool, I don't know, way to start a company.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, I've been
Yeah,
wanting to
they're
go. I've been wanting to go since I got back
Yeah.
because they have a
it's
cask ale.
Yeah, it's fun when you like go to a different country and they have something that you don't like you discover over there, and then you immediately start looking up like, do we have that here? And like I went to Ireland 2 years ago, and we went to a hurling game, and there's actually an Irish Gaelic athletics club here, but like everyone was immediately looking up their hometown,
like a rec league you could like join.
Yeah, so you can do hurling. I've been thinking about doing it, but I haven't actually pulled the trigger on it yet.
That does sound intimidating.
It does sound intimidating, but it's fun to like come back and like find little bits of the culture, like these other cultures that pop up, where you live.
Yeah, it's very true.
What is? Oh, you were gonna say something?
Can you guys give us like your lore? Like, how did you guys start?
Yeah.
Because you're all Lipscomb, right? Or some of you guys?
Just me
Well,
and Lincoln,
Okay.
yes. Whom I will speak for.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So how'd you two start the group?
yeah, Isaac, take it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came to Nashville in 2014,
Okay.
and Lincoln had already been here, so he actually just graduated from Lipscomb whenever I got there.
Sweet.
And the band started in the choir program there, so just choir kids that started playing music together after choir class. And I joined like kind of right when I got here. I knew Lincoln from, he had a summer job in my hometown in Arkansas, and we met then. So I was still in high school. And then whenever I got to Lipscomb, met him or reconnected with him, and then joined the band that he had started. And so that was 2014. And it was just kind of a college band for the first few years. And I graduated in 2017, a semester early.
Let's go.
And and then that was sort of the beginning of us doing it for real, I guess.
Sure.
And we met Bailey shortly after that.
Like I think 2018. We did just have January 9th was my 5-year anniversary in the band.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
Cool.
just reached 5 years. Continue.
Yeah, very cool.
That's awesome.
I was like,
Carry
where's
on.
that knocking coming from? I realized it's the upright.
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
met. So they were doing that for, I guess, I don't know, close to 5 years before I joined.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a fan of theirs actually. And we were both attending a show, this like folk bluegrass instrumental group called Hawktail. And I recognized them in the audience. And so I went and introduced myself. And then, just like had gone to some of their shows after that, like bumped into them. I'll tell this, I don't ever tell this story, but I feel emboldened to now. There was once I was at Bongo Java right across from Belmont. And I had like met them before, and I just like, I'm not good at approaching people and like saying hello. And so I walked in and I saw them and I wanted to say hello so badly. And I was like sitting down and I like I was doing my homework and I like couldn't concentrate. And I'm like, you got to go say hi to them. Like, I know Lincoln will remember you. Like, he follows you on Instagram, but I could not do it. And so I called my boyfriend, who's now my husband at the time, Gray, and because he's very social, as you guys know. And so I called him and he was like, his class was over in like maybe 10 minutes. And I was like, hey, can you like leave early? Like, can you come here to say hello to them so then I can walk up to you and say hello to them? Like, I cannot do it myself. And he was like, yeah, sure. So I think he literally like left class like 5 minutes early and like pretended to bump into them at Bongo Java. And then I just like walked up. I don't even know if I said hello. I just like stood there. And I don't know what we talked about. And then, we walked away from that. And then a few months later, they asked me if I wanted to join.
It's cool.
So
we all need like, a Gray.
Yeah, we all need a Gray
in our lives. Just like help plant seeds.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Say the name of that band one more time. Was it Hawktail?
Hawktail? Yes.
Have you mentioned Hawktail before?
Maybe.
I feel like it rings a bell.
We all really like them. They're great.
Yeah.
We saw them, we all as a band went, actually for Isaac's birthday.
Last year.
They played at City Winery.
Okay.
So.
Cool. I think I've just heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're like,
that's cool.
It's like Scandinavian traditional music meets like American folk music and bluegrass.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I feel like that's a cool part about the genre that you guys are in. Like, there's a lot of cool melding of different genres that make up what you're doing. Like with Louisa last week. She was talking about just like a Celtic thing that she was in and how that's been able to be incorporated into her overall style. Like, it's a very colorful genre.
There's so many different folks that have their own, folk music from different. There's like all these different worlds of it, and there's like an American brand of it, and then Celtic or Scandinavian, or I'm sure there's just like every country has their own sort of like take on it, which is cool because you can could tap into your own heritage, or you can find something that you like from another country and bring it in, and it's cool how all those things can meld together.
Yeah, it makes it very variable, adds more colors to it.
I saw the Bob Dylan movie.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yeah. And
have you guys seen that yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's so good.
Very different from Nosferatu, as you were just talking about.
There's kind of the two big ones right now.
Yeah.
But I saw that, and it was, I've enjoyed folk music, but never really got into the history of it or like sort of the lore behind it, and like, the canon of it, if you will. So it's really interesting to see that movie and kind of understand a little bit more about kind of the attitudes that certain people had towards, what the rules were, or like what the kind of the mythos of folk music as a genre. It was just interesting. It was kind of opening me up to just kind of a part of the genre that I had never really dug into before.
That's cool.
Have y'all ever done Newport Folk Festival? They're still going, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. When you guys are doing
we'll tag them.
Yeah, please do.
Tag Newport Folk Festival.
Do you guys have like a standard tour route that you hit? Like, what does that process look like when you guys are trying to hit the road and dream festivals that you would want to hit? And like, what does that look like? And like, even just like working with management too, maybe.
Yeah. So, should we start at the beginning or
take me away? Yeah, sure. We got time.
So we, at the beginning we were doing mainly house concerts. So, for the first like 4+ years, we only did house concerts.
Yeah.
And those were like a lot of like reaching out to distant cousins that, we hadn't spoken to ever. Yeah. It's like, hey, can I come play in your living room? Invite all your friends. They were like, no.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, please.
Please. Is that okay? That and we made this like submission form on our website and then posted that on Facebook. So it was like, if anybody, the tens of fans that we had at the time, like would like fill out one of those like host applications, and then we'd kind of like collect this database, and we'd see like, okay, well, like South Dakota and Wyoming are kind of close. Like if we can get over there, then we can do these two. But it was very much like just kind of like a collage tour at the beginning, where it was just like, okay, we have these people that are interested in hosting us in their living room. And that was just, we didn't bring any gear. We just showed up and played, and we would stay with them, and we would take their food. And
nice.
Yeah. And but they just so many generous people, like all kidding aside. We met like some just wonderful families doing that. Kind of like a surprising, strangers that would then just like open up their homes to us and like take really good care of us, and they would invite their friends, and they would actually make a meal for us afterwards. And it was just kind of, it was overwhelming. Like this is weird. This is not at all what we were expecting. Yeah. And so I think it introduced us really quickly to this, I guess kind of like it helped us make like a community and a foundation, like a base or whatever. And then we, made the transition after years of that to like reaching out to clubs and stuff. And we would try to use we did a house concert in your area, and this many people came, and sometimes the venue promoter would go for that, and other times they'd say, well, that doesn't mean anything to me. Anybody could say, like, you don't have
drinks did you sell?
Yeah, like anybody could say that. So that was sort of a weird kind of like rocky transition. It was like, okay, how do we navigate that? And so we kind of did we had like our like 1 foot in like the DIY thing, and 1 foot in like trying to break into like different markets and clubs, venues, and stuff. And then we were doing festivals just like here and there, and I think it was just like word of mouth. Like we had a friend from Lipscomb. Their family lives in Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and they had started a festival, and they knew us, and so asked us to come play that. And then I think, the festival where everybody kind of talks, and if you're on you're on the festival poster, another festival might see that and like reach out. So that was kind of happening a little bit, like just kind of organically on its own. And we were approached by an agent who at that point we were like, we had never done that before. And so we signed with them, and then that gave us some like booking help. Yeah. And we realized that he started sending us contracts. We were like, wait a second. You're supposed to sign a contract to play a show at a venue? Like this is, wait, we've never done this for like 6 years. We have never done that. But so things started to feel a little bit more official. All of a sudden we had some, we had representation. Things just felt like a little bit more professional, and we had like some degree of control over. At least there was a conversation with somebody that was like, we want to do this maybe, and then they would go and ask questions, like try to make it happen, versus just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what would stick and sending just a bunch of email, like an email blast to venues. So that was a big that was a like positive shift for us, and then. I think at the end of 2019, we signed with a manager who our agent had set us up with. And that first year, 2020, they just like canceled shows for us pretty much. That was like their job.
Take care of all this.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. And so 2021 came around, I guess like the second half of it, and we were like sort of back in the swing of things. And working with our manager, Andrew Stokes, has been like just a huge game changer.
Great.
I think we got lucky. I mean, I know there's a lot of like wonderful managers out there, and there's also a lot of bad managers. Just like there's a lot of great bands, and there's a lot of bad bands. Like that's just anything.
Right.
And he's fantastic. He's so. I think like one of my favorite things is that he's so good at just like presenting us with the information and not like making it to where it's like, okay, you should get excited about this, or you shouldn't get excited about this.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, what do you want to do? What are your goals? And like on a day-to-day thing, what's your goal today? And also what's your goal like as a business and as a band? And he's so good at just listening to that, speaking into it whenever we ask him to, and then just like helping us realize that, which I've never had a different manager, but I think that is something that is really beneficial to find somebody who's like not trying to like shape you into the band or like shape your career into the career that they want you to have or they think you ought to have, but instead who's just going to listen to you. And if you're like, I want to rule the world, they're like, great, let's do that. Cool. Or if they're like, I want to play house concerts and I want to make records and release it, and I like to stay at home, then then they're like, okay, great. Yeah, like either one of those, whatever you want to do, and then they just support you in that.
Yeah, it seems like, and that's like producers too.
Yeah,
like you want, and I wonder where the line is, but like you want producers to just showcase you pretty cleanly, like, I don't need a delay on that, dude. Like that's not the sound that I'm going for. Just like accurately represent who we are as a band by the way you mic it and all that. Like you would probably want that in a manager too, to do the same kind of thing, just accurately.
You hear that complaint like all the time from people where like, oh, I worked with this guy, but he just wanted to turn me into the next insert, whatever name. Yeah,
took control of it. You know the scene in Drake and Josh?
I love this show.
Which one?
I can't wait. Yeah, probably.
Real Big Shrimp, the movie.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Where Drake gets the record deal, and then they're like, yeah, we finally got the master of it. And then they're putting all the delays and stuff over his voice. Like, what'd you do to my sound, man? Like, that's what you don't want in a producer.
Yeah. Well,
thank God for Drake and Josh.
I know. That's one of the greatest shows of the 2000s.
Agreed.
I was going to ask, it sounds like there was the first, it's almost kind of sounds like there's two halves of the timeline of the band where there's sort of the early years of like the house shows and the kind of slow burn of things. And then you've got management and then kind of like the current lineup and everything. And that's almost like, almost as much time as y'all spent before that time. And I'm just kind of curious, like, does it feel like it's been a slow, steady building the whole time? Or was there like a snowball moment where it sort of like everything ramped up? And also, I guess like second double question, do you feel like those house shows were really influential in building your initial fan base?
Oh, 100%.
And then having something to launch from?
I don't feel like it has, since I got in on the second half, where I feel like once I joined, there was already an agent and a manager in place and everything.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it has been a very steady increase, but it's like so noticeable. Like from year to year, it's like, wow, we really like made those
we've got a Lincoln.
Let's go.
He made it.
Lincoln's loaded.
Welcome in.
Lincoln's loaded.
Lincoln's loaded.
Showered over
What's going on, everybody? I'm interrupting the podcast because I've finally launched what I've been talking about on this podcast for a very long time, Groove MPL, Groove Music Production Lessons. This website is focused on two main things: how you can use Ableton on stage as playback, and independent music producers in Nashville. How do they do it? How do they get clients? How do they work out the contracts? So every month there's a new course available on the site, and we got courses like Adam Leeds diving into how he has been able to produce for just monster artists here like Starlito, Young Buck, and a bunch of different artists. We got the drummer from Maggie Rose, Timothy Burkhead, showing how he uses Ableton and his SPD pad to control the live show and have it run seamlessly. Austin Cannon, who's breaking down how do the contracts work between you and the artist. These courses really are here because they cover topics that are hard to find, and they're important topics that are necessary to get you from point A to point B. That information in between shouldn't be hard to find, and having it in one central location I think is super important, so I'm very excited to share it with you all. Again, you can sign up at groovempl.com with the discount code GGP for Garden Groove Podcast, and you'll get 50% off your first month. I'm looking forward to meeting you all.
The only one.
That's okay.
Well, they were just answering my question. I was just asking about like, we were going over the house shows that y'all played early on, and then then you were kind of transitioning into venues, and then at some point around 2019 you started having a management team. And so I was just kind of asking about like, was there a noticeable moment where it was like everything's skyrocketing right now, or has it been kind of a steady build like every year over year?
Bailey
I was
was in.
saying
Yes.
Yeah,
steady
Bailey was
build.
in the middle of kind of answering that. So
Yeah.
you were saying since you've joined, every year over year, it's been a noticeable growth.
Yeah, noticeable
Yeah.
growth, but I guess there hasn't been a moment that's like, oh my gosh, everything's changed.
Yeah, like,
it's just like
our
always.
song went crazy on TikTok,
Yeah.
and now we're
I mean, I feel like folk music is hard to like
Yeah.
blow up on TikTok.
Noah Khan's kind of going
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
true.
There's a way.
There's a way.
There's
It's
got to be a
doable.
way to do it.
And we only lost TikTok for 6 hours
Yeah.
today. So
So guys,
back
there's
on
no-
now?
we're back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're back. It's a very historical day
Trump saved
today.
it. Trump
Yeah.
saved it.
What a guy.
What a guy.
We really needed that.
This is actually a political podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Oh,
knew
great.
that.
I was
going
ready to
into
come
Yeah,
in
this.
you didn't know what
Yeah.
you were walking into.
I got like so much relief when it got banned because I
Oh, 100%.
don't use TikTok and I hate the pressure of having to post on it. Like I mean I hardly ever do, but like just for socials and like
Yeah.
band promotion stuff, I'm
Right.
like, oh, I have to post, and then I was
Right.
like, oh my gosh, I don't have to post on TikTok anymore. But
And I think if you were a TikTok
still
user,
do
it was
that.
almost like somebody taking your drugs away from you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I couldn't stop it on my own. I had to get put in
you were
rehab.
saying, I was
Yeah.
doing it too. Just like habitually, just like,
Yeah, I clicked on the app like
TikTok.
3 times today, just habitually, and I was like, "What am I doing?"
that's so
Like,
funny.
I'm like Pavlov's dogs or something.
oh my gosh, dude. It's
Yeah.
so bad. Worth that.
Right.
yeah,
So I was
if
like, someone
Instagram
needs to
got banned, that would be a tough day for me.
That would be great.
That would be a tough day for
It
me.
would also be
The
Honestly,
great.
sanity that would rush over the population.
That's probably true.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
probably
Oh my
really
gosh,
What
our
if we
attention
just-
would be better.
What if we just ban all social media till we figure out what's going on?
Yeah.
You know,
like
Yeah.
just stop, just pause,
just all of it.
Everyone
Just like,
just
all right,
stop.
print more flyers.
exactly. Yeah.
Read the newspaper.
You want to get people to your show? Put up some flyers.
Yeah.
Get
Oh
out
my
there,
gosh.
boots on the ground.
What a
No.
wild thing we've never done ever.
That's-
I was
Yeah.
about to ask that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we put some posters up.
Yeah,
mean,
some
yeah, a little
posters.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put some posters.
Have you guys ever done ads?
Like run
Like,
ads on like
run
Instagram.
ads? Like
Yeah.
Facebook ads
Yeah,
and stuff?
we had a
Yeah.
billboard.
The
Yeah,
one time we had a
Whoa,
billboard
that's cool.
was when we like played the Opry like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
We had a billboard for a day.
We did.
yeah, it was pretty.
Oh,
And
cool.
I think
that was like-
actually,
It was
I
on,
think what happened was, it was down on
it was the
65 somewhere downtown.
65?
billboard going over Veterans Bridge, right?
Whoa.
Yeah. And actually, I
That
think
was pretty cool.
it was
yeah.
it was one of those
That's
things where I think our manager was in touch with a marketing company. It was basically like what can you guys offer us? And they're like this, and they kind of like did the pitch, and then they were like, and we'll throw in a free billboard for the day, just to prove to you that we're serious.
Just a little flex.
And he was like, free billboard, okay. And then he texted us
Yeah, it
like,
was a
hey, I got you guys a
surprise.
billboard.
I think he was just like, go to this location.
yeah.
And then we
yeah.
were like, what?
Okay,
that's
there's
crazy.
our
By it,
faces
yeah.
up there.
Did you all get to see it? Like,
Yeah.
did you all get to drive
Yeah.
by
Oh
it?
yeah, I drove by so many times.
I want to loop
Yeah.
it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and probably
cool.
like 200,000 people saw it.
Yeah.
You know,
But you never tried like ads or anything like that. Like, if you were to think about it as marketing, like you would do the word of mouth and go to the house shows and all that kind of stuff. But like, I guess, how do you approach things like TikTok? Like, you have to post every day. Like, do you have a system for it? Is there one of you that is in charge of it, or is just like it just
I've
goes up?
recently kind of taken over, but
Yeah,
also
thank
I
God.
haven't posted since December now. So it's like,
Okay, good for you.
yeah.
Good
So
for
it's
you.
like, it's when we're like in the thick of it and we're like touring and I'm taking photos and there's relevant things to say. But
Right.
we don't ever just like make content to post.
And that
It's
feels
not
so much
really.
better. It's like so much healthier.
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that we do a good job necessarily if we were like every day we have to like we got to make something for it. Like it would just it's
the worst.
Yeah, it's forced and kind of besides the point.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of bands just turn into meme accounts. And they're not even posting their own music anymore, and they'll get like 100,000 likes on a little skit they did, and like that's awesome. That's a lot of eyes on your band, but like, what's the turnover rate on that of people
like
going?
How many fans
Let me go
actually
listen to their whole album now,
Right.
because I care about whatever music they're making. They see the little joke about band practice, and they're like, I do that.
Yeah.
I like the idea though, just like
exactly.
just if it's relevant, like we're making an album, like so you should know. But like actually we were on like vacation. Like I don't think you need to know that.
Yeah.
Like, if it matters, it matters. Yeah.
Like, some people are good at it.
Oh
some
yeah,
some bands are great at it, and like like good.
Yeah, more power to
Yeah,
them.
keep doing it. It's great.
I am not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
fair enough. Let's talk about when I was looking up you guys have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that's pretty
Congratulations.
sick. I think y'all are our first guest that has a Wikipedia page.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I was typing y'all up just to like
Who
brush
did that?
up.
Did you do that?
No, but I
Did
did
you?
edit it recently.
Did you really?
Did they get something wrong?
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
what's wrong?
There's just like
Something needed to be redacted.
yeah, they're just things that aren't
we have
pertinent
secrets.
information anymore.
Yeah.
they're not
we have secrets,
It's
and
just-
and we're not going to talk about it anymore.
yeah, no, it's not secrets. It's just like it's just information that's not relevant anymore.
When
Yeah.
I was,
it's just funny. It's not a robust Wikipedia page.
it's
but it
I was
exists.
really
It exists.
impressed with like it still felt pretty robust.
Oh,
Like,
well,
I was like, wow, that's pretty thorough. I was like typing y'all in on Google because like I've listened to your stuff and I've looked at your Instagram, and I was like, I just want to figure out whatever I can to be prepared. And there were two things that came up. One was automatically the Wikipedia page popped up. So I started there. But then I noticed the second thing out of the corner of my eye as I was clicking the Wikipedia page, and it said the Arcadian Wild controversy.
Yes,
and I
I've
go,
seen that.
wait a minute, there's a controversy?
I've
thought y'all
seen
like
this.
I thought
That's
y'all
why I brought
survived
this
a
up.
cancellation or something. So I clicked on that, and then Google gave me the AI like breakdown of everything that comes up at the top. It was like the Arcadian Wild has not been in any notable controversy. Yeah.
Now, like so many people, I guess it keeps populating that, so people keep clicking it.
that's
So
probably
much-
true.
oh
I think
my
it's just
gosh.
like an automatic thing that anytime you're typing in a
wild.
band, it just adds a controversy.
And then
Yeah.
of course
Yeah.
you're gonna click on
Yeah.
it.
Right, you're like, what do these guys do?
It's so just
Like they did nothing.
It's like, these guys are clean.
it's
They're
so
good.
disconcerting.
What's up with that? Why haven't they done anything?
It's
Yeah,
so
then
disconcerting
you're like,
that
they're
that's like
lame. Yeah, that
part
can't
of
be
how
right.
we like search for. Like, have these people ever done anything bad? I need to know about it.
Have they been
No.
canceled before?
Yeah.
Can we have them on the pod?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
y'all,
red
y'all are
flag.
uncanceled.
Yeah,
Y'all are
there was
squeaky clean.
There was one time that our Twitter account was suspended, but that was because there was like another account that was like had a name very close to ours that was just like posting outrageous political stuff constantly, and like whatever like AI bot was like flagging that stuff just like flagged ours instead and like shut ours down, which looks terrible. Like
Yeah.
it just looks so
Well,
suspicious.
didn't we were just like, okay, fine, we're not even going to
Yeah, I
use this
didn't even
thing
know there
again.
was a
yeah, well, like we never used Twitter,
Being
but then
on Twitter's a band is like
it's
the
not
least usable
It is
social media.
pretty
the
platform.
utility
silly.
is
Here's my
really
political
low.
views.
But like our manager like reached out to us and he was like, "Hey, just so you know, your Twitter account's been deactivated, and even though you don't use it, that like looks really weird, and you should like figure out what's going on." And so I like messaged them and I was like, "Hey, we didn't do anything." And
We
yeah,
literally
it was
didn't do
fine.
anything. We haven't used
We
your
haven't,
app.
you can see that we did
Yeah.
nothing.
You
Three
mean
tweets.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all about our feelings.
Yeah. If you have any controversy suggestions, we'd love.
Yeah. We can start one right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone, hottest take right now.
Well, we did
Who's your
spend the
least
first
favorite-
like 10 minutes talking about beer, which I don't guess that's controversial, but
No, I just
it certainly, could paint a picture.
Yeah. Like, is it
Good,
real or
good.
not? Or
I heard you guys can't even
That's all I
walk
wanna
out of
talk
the
about,
pub
yeah.
for 5 minutes before going to another one.
Right, that is what we said.
That's what we said, yeah. And it's
Verbatim.
true.
that's controversial.
No, this can't get out. This can't get out. Horrible. Well, the reason I brought up the Wikipedia page, you guys were top 3 on the bluegrass Billboard chart with.
It did happen once, yeah.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
Like, walk me through it. Like, how does that feel? Like, when did you hear about it? Like, did you get an email?
I think our manager pointed us in the direction.
Was it? Which one was
it was
Welcome?
Principium.
Principium
I don't
got.
know if Welcome charted.
I'm talking about Principium.
Principium did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what did. Were we at? For some reason, I have a memory of we were at a friend of mine's house in New Hampshire. At Forest House. Am I totally? That's just a memory that
I don't think
invented.
I've ever been there.
Oh, okay, well then
so-
we weren't there. Yeah, I
don't
think
think
our
I've ever
manager
met
just
Forrest.
probably just sent it to us. I still don't really know how that works.
It might be like
these days.
terrestrial radio based. Is that right, or did I make
I mean,
that
streaming plays a role.
Okay.
I know that streaming plays a role because if you do like a pre-sale thing,
right?
that factors you can if it matters the way that you track pre-sale for an album, because I can factor into it.
But yeah, I really don't know.
That is the extent of my knowledge.
Do you know?
I have no idea. I have always wondered, award shows and awards have always been so mysterious. Where are those people?
Yeah.
Are there polling booths?
There are. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, people vote for
boards
sure.
Yeah,
for certain award shows. They have a board that decides on
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
The all-seeing
Very
board.
shady.
The
Yeah.
blue
And I think
grass board.
that
on
the
the
board has an internal award system on which board is the best.
Really?
And there's another board for that.
There's boards for the
And then
boards?
they have an
and then
award
they
show.
have one. Yeah.
Wow.
Charcuterie wins every year.
Oh my goodness, get out of here.
I've missed you so much.
This is how our shows go. Usually, Eli gets one
One pun.
Yeah,
pun in.
And there's not a mic, so
Yeah.
nobody hears it. And we're
got room
laughing.
mics.
Yeah.
No one listening is going to have heard the hilarious thing you just said.
Yeah, you have been dropping puns subtly
Yeah.
throughout the day.
That's
It's pretty good. It's a
his
skill.
job.
It's a definite skill.
Where did the name come from? Now that's kind of a basic question, but I
was
was
gonna say
been
that's a good
wondering.
question.
Yeah.
Who
Take
wants
it
to
away.
do it?
So Arcadia in ancient Greek mythology and in Renaissance art is portrayed as this place. It is a real place. But sort of mythologically and in literary accounts, it's portrayed as this little microcosm of the world that's eternally spring.
Ah, cool.
So nothing ever dies, and it's sort of a world unto itself that is renewing itself continually. And it's more of a pastoral environment. It's not really like a utopia, but it's a land populated with people, and there's this sort of mutuality that exists between the people that live there and the place that they live in. And so there's reciprocity and this belongs to us and we belong to it. And we thought the mutual care baked into that was really interesting. And I think somewhere there was I don't know who the author was, but their descriptions of it were there's perfect music always floating through the air of this place, and we were oh, that's really
And that's
beautiful.
our
Yeah, our music
Yeah,
is
our
perfect.
music is perfect.
That's the perfect music. That's
And we were we thought okay, maybe what if we tried to make something approximating that? And I think it was saying that stuff out loud that is very lofty and ambitious and romantic. And I think it is something that we have grown more and more into as time has gone on. I think, the music that we began making
sort of
in the beginning.
aspirational.
Yeah. It is definitely aspirational. I think we made very cute music when we started.
Yeah.
And now I feel we've more grown into the body of what we wanted to be at the start.
Yeah,
so.
that's an interesting one too. Just finding your sound individually, but also finding your sound as a band can definitely take time. And there's no end point to it. We finally found our sound.
Yeah,
It's
we're
always
here.
evolving for sure.
Well, it definitely conjures up a lot of storybook imagery, you know, and I feel for me, folk music in general always kind of conjures up storybook, fairy tales and things like that, just kind of, and I was noticing y'all did some music for a soundtrack, a little while back, 2016-ish, around that time.
Probably the first time.
The first one was 2017, maybe 2016 or 2017.
Yeah.
And it's still going on. The show's not over, so it's been
Are y'all still contributing to that?
yes. We
are,
haven't in a little bit.
Yeah.
but-
So our
Maybe
we have a
Have them back, guys. Have them back.
well, they just like started the third season, so I guess
Yeah,
it's like TBD. Maybe they'll do something else, and if they do, that's totally fine. So our friend Andrew is also a singer-songwriter in town who's been working for for like 30 years.
we've actually
one-
already talked
Yeah.
about.
Oh,
you
sorry.
mentioned him
Yeah,
earlier.
when before
sorry.
you got here.
Flashback. Yeah, you weren't there for that.
Yeah,
part.
he's the Christmas tour we go on.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
the author of these books.
Full circle.
Yeah. So he they're like wildly popular and they're really, really great stories. So he's like sort of become a fiction writer and has like started writing nonfiction too. And so they had the idea a few years back to like do an animated series for the books.
Oh, cool.
And so that they kind of did like a pilot episode,
There's like a proof of concept
like almost
thing?
8 years ago now, and they kind of tapped us to be involved with that, and then
That's cool.
they kind of came back and like really made a go at it. And so now they're 2 seasons in,
Cool.
and they're working on the 3rd right now. And
I think they have 32 planned, is what they said. Maybe 33 seasons
30
planned.
Really?
Wait, are you serious? Okay, I was like, what?
You said
That's news to me.
I don't know if this is what it's been like the whole time, like before out here, but you were saying so many things, just like really straight face.
It's hard to when like you can't
inscrutable.
see him because
Yeah,
you're facing this
man.
way.
You got to live up to your controversy.
Yeah.
Google search.
Yeah.
What does
start
that
some
look
rumors.
like? Like, you're getting the, whoa, what does it look like? You're getting the video and then you have to like this
how
sounds
is
like
that?
this should be Foresty guitar.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
I nail it?
Yeah, pretty much. Now there's conversations beforehand about kind of the vibe or the soundscape
yeah, for sure.
is a word that was said to us. So there's conversations about that. There's, you listen to other things and try to get like everybody on the same page. But then like the showrunner and the director of each episode will have specific things in mind and different emotions that they're trying to capture.
Mm-hmm.
And so those typically will come, like there'll be notes that accompany the animation that are like, this is sort of, we want it to feel hopeful here or kind of like mysterious here. And I don't know what it's like with other shows, but with this one, there was also a conversation about themes for places and for characters beforehand.
Yep.
And so you kind of went in to the actual like tracking and like writing to picture with some like predetermined, this is a melody or this instrument is going to represent this character or whatever. And so you have a starting place. And then it just becomes a kind of a back and forth. Like this is the general idea that I've got for this 2-minute section, and then they'll have notes. There were other composers working on it, people with far more experience than us, that would speak into things that would sort of like embellish things that we did. So it was a big team effort and lots of back and forth.
Yeah.
And eventually just trying to find something that is just like elevating what is on screen.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if there's similarities between writing that way, like writing with like an image in mind. Because we've talked about it on the podcast, like the way I write like fun electronic-y music. But I'll write to get like a sonic vibe, and then I'll put lyrics over that. But some people, when you go to a lot of writers' rounds, they're like, I went through a breakup 15 years ago and I wrote a song secondary to that, right? So is there similarities to like writing with that vision in mind? How do you guys write songs? Like, do you vent about a breakup from when you were 15 and you're like, yeah, this fiddle part should go really well with that? Or like, is there a formula that you guys have for that?
I think, I guess to jump back to like the first part of the question, I feel like for the show it was probably really, really different because when you're scoring, like when you're scoring a movie or a show or something like that, like sometimes I think like one thing that they like sort of pushed us away from was like doing things that were like really songy and like super melody focused.
They want more like soundtrack.
Yeah,
like
it's
vibe.
yeah. Which totally makes sense. There were like a few exceptions to that where there's like diegetic music happening.
What music?
And like the music
a
that's
word?
like
I didn't know what that word meant either. Please
like-
explain.
so diegetic music would be like
It's like a nutrition term.
yeah. So like so music that's if you have like a play or a movie, it's like happening in the context of the scene. It's not necessarily scoring.
It's
like
part of the
it's
scene.
part of the scene.
Oh, yeah.
So like Hadestown is a really fun like point of reference for that because like the band is kind of like in
Right.
the scene sometimes
Yes.
because they're in like a bar type of place. So like sometimes like Hadestown, I would say it has
They, like-
diegetic music.
Yeah, they
Actually,
address the-
honestly, all the time. I guess like a musical
Yeah, is that.
Is
is
all-
diegetic music. So yeah, maybe that's a
Do y'all
bad
have little
example, but
character representations in the show?
We don't. That was so funny.
We should demand that.
Yeah,
though.
you should.
We should
We want
should
more
demand-
songs.
We should have revisited the contract.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I want a little animated version of myself, please. Thank you.
Dang it. We should have talked to you
Yeah,
beforehand.
yeah.
Well, you got 36
Oh, that's
seasons.
so-
to
yeah,
work with.
It keeps increasing
There's
every
always
time.
time to renegotiate.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's good food for thought. I think as far as like for just the normal music that we write for our band to like perform and make records, I feel like it's evolved over time and we're like trying to do it a little differently now than we have in the past. Depending on how familiar people are with our catalog, like we are like really arrangement heavy. Like I
love that about you guys. Too.
Yeah. To a great degree, like the arrangement of the song is so married to the DNA of the song itself. And I think that we've been able to do some really interesting things with that. And I think in some ways that's like drawn a certain type of person into our music, which has been really, really sweet. But we're like writing for a new record right now and we're trying to just like reimagine how we do that.
Sure.
And I think in one conversation that we had with our manager recently, he was like, I want you guys to like, you're in like a tricky spot because you're really good and you are now in a position where you can run the risk of like making a crappy song sound great. Because you know like all of like the tricks to sort of like dress something up and make it really really engaging when like maybe the substance of it isn't like fully cooked. And so you're serving something that like hasn't fully arrived to your listener really, and you have like maybe you have a better lyric in you, or like you have a better idea that you just kind of like you plated it and like garnished it and made it look really nice before it was like really done. So and I don't think that we've like been in the habit over the years of like serving half-baked songs. I stand by like everything we've done, and I'm like really proud of the work that we've gotten to do together. But I think we're just trying to like do it a little differently and like finish a song and like not think about like arranging all of the nuts and bolts of it like before like the structure of it and like the lyric and the melody and the like the whole idea is there completely.
Why not? Like, why not? Why take that approach?
I think just because we haven't done that yet.
Okay. Yeah.
And like, we could do it this way and put out a new record and, whatever it does, we might end up like going back to how we've always worked. But I think we're just trying to like speak creatively in a new way, like all of us individually and then together as a band, in a way that we haven't before. Just like trying something new out.
There's definitely a thing with like taking a song and being like, could I sit here with just a guitar or just a mandolin or whatever, like, and play this song and sing it and have it resonate with somebody at the same amount that it could with the cool arrangement and this like all these beautiful harmonies and stuff. I mean, I think Taylor and I are both, the music that we both individually make is very arrangement forward, and the lyrics are always kind of an afterthought, and you're like, oh, I should sing something over this. I have this super cool sounding song.
What
but now
words would my mom not dislike?
Yeah.
That's sometimes a helpful question to ask.
Yeah, like how can I sing about what I want to sing about, but my grandma's not going to be like, what's he doing over there? So yeah, I think that's something that I resonate with a lot because I've had the same thought of like with, especially when you're like on record for, 1, 2, and 3, you can sort of like reinvent yourself a little bit and you're headed in a direction. But there is this feeling of like, once you've figured it out, like I know how to make a record, then you have to sort of go, you don't want to become, I won't say any names, but there's so many beloved bands that we all know and love that have been around forever that sort of like they'll hit their stale point where they just make the same record 4 times until people just stop listening anymore. And it's like, that's a scary thought of like, how long can I keep that away where I feel like I'm doing something interesting and kind of like, I don't know, fresh, And
like, when do you make it a conscious choice to make a genre change? Because you have like John Mayer made that genre change to go to country, and then Taylor Swift, obviously. But like, when do you make it a conscious choice to keep your listeners engaged? And when is it like a natural evolution? Like maybe some bands don't evolve naturally to where they have to force out like, okay, we like country.
That's what's gonna sell.
Yeah.
And you gotta you gotta forcefully take like vocal lessons, Taylor Swift, to change your sound. So I don't know. That's a cool answer what you said. Like it sounds like you're naturally evolving, which I think
and
that's
mindfully evolving.
Yeah, you're thinking about it. I think it's cool. I think it's a good way to do it.
I think that we're in the we haven't really started the like real pre-production tracking of everything, but we've been working on a new record and we're gonna try some new things.
Yeah.
And but all like in a very natural, organic way. And I think we all know what the line, we haven't seen the line yet, but I think we know what it is.
Yeah.
I'd love to cross it.
Just a little bit.
Dancing around it right now.
And then come back.
Yeah.
What does an Arcadian Wild writing session typically look like for y'all?
One of us
brewskis.
As we've established.
Build the controversy. I like it.
These guys were knocking over mics when they came in here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like it was an hour.
Just stumbled in.
What's up, you guys?
Knocked over the lawn gnome in Taylor's yard.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was gonna say,
Jokes aside. Yeah.
jokes aside. Hold on, real back.
Real talk.
There have been a few times where we have just like needed to write a song and we'll start completely from scratch altogether, whether it's like a lyrical idea or just like an instrumental idea. But I feel like for this new album we're working on, one of us usually has a idea that we bring to the table and at varying degrees of being finished, whether it's like just a verse or a chorus or like all the lyrics there, but like it needs to be massaged, or that's just kind of what we've been doing now. And we've been just going like in a circle, taking turns, like we'll start today with me and I'll share an idea and we'll work on that till lunch and then break and then do someone else after.
We stay at lunch for a while.
Yeah.
2-hour lunch.
We
Lots
love
of
lunch.
tacos.
We love lunch.
We used to ask everyone that came in, what is your like go-to hole in the wall spot
Nashville.
in Nashville? Yeah, because Nashville just has so much good food, and so I always like putting people on or getting put on to a new thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you were the kick with like your real estate. You were doing those Instagram
that got
videos
too
about
expensive.
that.
So I do real estate as well, and like I started doing these like as like content. Like I would go eat somewhere, and then that just got really expensive. I was like eating all this food, and I just was like, I guess that's a tax write-off, but like I can't afford it right now. Yeah, like
You took me on one to Shotgun Willie's, and it's like it's like $20 for brisket. Like,
yeah.
Shotgun Willie's catered my wedding.
No way.
Really?
Yeah.
Shout out to Shotgun Willie's.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Shotgun Willie's.
delicious.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Nothing, I just roasted you.
What did you say?
So hard.
Eli's back there with the zingers.
No, I didn't hear
Pick
it.
that up with the room.
Yeah,
lights,
turn
dude.
it up.
Yeah,
Turn it up high.
bump the room mic for that one. So yeah, go to lunch spots.
Yeah, Ladybird
Ladybird.
Taco. I was gonna say Stay Golden, but we don't really go there for lunch. It's more of like a business meeting place.
Good coffee shop.
Yes.
We love it there a lot. When I live in Bellevue, so like on the way other side of town, and when we play at my house, we usually do like honey fire barbecue,
Yes, we do.
which is very, very good. And we'll usually like
Ooh.
eat family style and just like get pounds of various meats
Yes.
Ooh.
and sides. It's very delicious.
That sounds really good.
And what did you say? You said
I said
Mitchell's. You said Mitchell's.
Oh yeah. I like Mitchell's.
What do you get?
Yeah, what's your
order?
Oh, I know your order.
Yeah. What is it?
Turkey avocado.
Yeah, that's it. I've never gotten anything else.
Really?
I've never gotten anything else. And like Frothy Monkey, I've only ever gotten the Royale. I've never gotten anything else.
For Pete's sake, get the banh mi at
Oh
Mitchell's.
yeah, or the
Or the
Asian
Italian.
flank
So
steak
good.
is the new one I'm
might
on
have had
right
a
now.
bite.
What is it?
The
I might have had a
Asian
bite of
flank
somebody else's.
steak.
Oh, I might have
never
to try
had it.
that.
It's so good. I never thought to get it, and I tried it recently, and I was like, "Whoa,
All right.
I love not
I was like, whoa.
having to like delineate between things.
yeah."
I love it. It's my favorite thing to just walk in and be like, don't even give me the option. I know what I want. This is it.
He's
y'all- I get it,
notorious
I get it.
for. I was gonna say Isaac's notorious for whenever on the road. I mean, on the road we're eating out breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day
Right,
for weeks
right.
straight. He just always like whoever texts first, he's like, "I'll have the same thing." Like he
Just
doesn't like.
copies and pastes.
Yeah, copy and paste. He doesn't like to
I'm
think
similar
about it.
to that. Just like
Yeah,
I'll like it.
whatever.
When you're traveling, there's so much like decision fatigue.
Oh
you know?
my gosh,
Like,
yeah.
you're- and
So
so it's
much.
just to like let something
Yeah.
off the list.
Relinquish
is
some
nice.
control.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
Yes, I was going to ask: is there more tension around what is for lunch or what's happening with the song? Is that what breeds more arguments?
We don't. There's not ever much tension. I
That's
would
good.
say. Definitely not about lunch or songs.
Yeah, that's probably
Tension's
a bad
probably
sign.
over much more insignificant things.
Yeah, it's
honestly.
over the stupid stuff.
Yeah.
It always is.
Yeah, like being an hour late to a podcast.
Yeah.
You're good.
Something like that.
No, you brought
No tension
You brought
from our
I did
side
bring
of the
bread.
room.
No,
I
it was
brought
funny.
apologies.
It was
Brought some
it was
bread.
funny.
What does touring look like? Like what are you guys traveling in right now?
A new van.
We have a van.
You
Got a
want to
van?
tell them about it?
ProMaster.
We have a high roof ProMaster 3500,
I'm gonna look it up.
and it's like it's still like reasonably sized, but we were traveling for the last like 7 years, I guess, in a low roof like Ford Transit.
Oh, nice.
Which like when we got it in like 2018, it felt like the biggest thing. It was like, this is the height of luxury, like you know, like, and we're never gonna need anything else. And then like 2 years later, we were just like so cramped, and we started traveling with our own like IEM rack and everything, and so we just have more gear. You know, we're
more merch and
and so yeah, we you know, compared to like lots of other acts, we're still like so bare bones. Like it's not like we are loading in a full kit and amps every night, but it's just like it's still like added up pretty quickly. And
The
so
upright's got to take up the same amount of space as a kid almost.
It's a decent amount, but yeah, just everything piled up, and so we've been looking kind of passively for a while, and then I feel like the summer tour that we did, we were just like, all right, this is over.
It's done.
Like we got home, and like a week and a half later, I had like bought us a new van. It's like we gotta get it done.
So I did a thing.
Yeah. So we had like we had a dear friend like kind of help us like shop the specs on like doing all of the upgrades, like the floor and the seats, and he like I took it to his house, and he like cut the holes in the ceilings for like the AC and like the solar paneling and all of that stuff. And
So y'all like camperized it a little bit.
it's not a sleeper, but like we had to.
It was a cargo van.
Yeah.
So we turned a cargo van into a passenger van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's great. It's a lot more comfy. We're still gonna like be making modifications on it for like the foreseeable future before we get it fully dialed in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we did
But
spend
it's-
that first trip.
I was
we
going to
spent
say someone
a
needs to
few
tell them.
hours in the Lowe's
Yeah.
parking lot.
yeah.
We had these shelves that were kind
the
of like not a permanent solution, right?
No.
And within the first 10 minutes, just like,
infuriating.
Bolts
Not
and
even
screws are
close to
flying
being held
everywhere.
down. Just kind of freestanding.
Like the existential fury that like coursed through my body as we were like just beginning the trip.
Hey, but you
spent
guys
all
got
that
it. I
time
said
to do
we.
it. We
I
fixed it.
literally napped in the Lowe's parking lot
were-
while
yeah.
the 4 boys screwed
That
up.
is
They had.
true.
Did you have one?
We had one power tool.
You had one
There
power
were-
tool, so that
Yeah.
everyone just kept waiting for their
Yeah.
turn.
Assembly
fix
line.
Pretty hilarious, yeah.
We were there for a long time,
I think
but
we
now
used
it's
one power drill as efficiently as 4 lads could.
yeah, I think you did too.
Yeah.
But now it's good.
But
it was-
yeah,
yeah.
no problems after that.
No
Yeah.
problems.
No
Who all is in the? Y'all have additional people that come with you on the road for merch and sound and stuff, or how many people is it total?
It's
These
most
days.
frequently over the last couple of years been 5. We we had a friend come tour manage for us for a couple of years. He is like just transitioning away from that just because he's got to be back at home more.
Yeah.
But we're bringing someone new out soon on the next run that we're doing. And then we had never traveled with like front of house before. But Bailey's husband Gray came with us on the last trip and did an amazing job. And that's not something that he like wants to do on the regs, but like he like showed us like
us the
how
way.
we have like okay, well now we can't go back to before. So another friend is coming out with us as well on the next tour that we're doing in a couple weeks. So we're excited to have some more help. So 6 people now.
6.
We've also had Mike out on the road with us.
Yes,
We have.
Yes, sir.
That's true.
Mike.
Yeah,
It's been
he
6
did
before.
some video and some
Photo,
photography.
And so many other helpful things.
Yes,
So
that's
wonderful.
right.
Look at him
The list is
go.
endless.
What a hero.
He's you can't see him, but he is wearing his Arcadian Wild sweatshirt.
Yes.
Support. Well, do
we get
want
to play
do
it?
a
We should
little
do it.
music?
Oh yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
I'm really
Oh,
excited
yeah.
about this.
Cool.
Right
Let's
Dim the lights.
dim the lights.
We took off in that plane. Your eyes grew wide, and we soared into the sunrise. You asked me when I learned to fly, and I replied, you were watching the whole time. You woke up from that dream and scratched your head, wondering what it all meant. You told me what you saw the night before, and made me love you a little more. I'm standing on your shoulders. You turn my cream to gold, and it still comes as a surprise whenever I look in your eyes. Without fail, I always find the man I wanna be. I'm standing on your shoulders. I watched you bear that cross upon your back, all along an ancient path. And you showed me how to find my way back home, and I have never walked alone. I'm standing on your shoulders. you've caught me from afar. I hear your voice when my back's up against a wall. And when the darkness makes me feel I'm far away from you, you gently remind me that this never was nor will be true. I'm standing on your shoulders. You turned my green to golden. It still comes as a surprise whenever I look in your eyes. Without fail, I always find the man I wanna be in your eyes. I'm standing on your shoulders. Asked me when I learned to fly, and I replied, you were watching the whole time. Welcome, friend, I'm so glad you came. It wouldn't be the same without you here. Step inside, sit down for a while, drinking all the smiles and the tears. Help yourself, it's all on the house. Pass your plate around, don't be shy. Have your fill, there's plenty here to share. Everything prepared with us in mind. Every night we wonder how we hoped it would be you. Whatever you brought here tonight, we will feast and find the light, draining every cup of joy and grief. Only God knows why we all stumbled in this dining hall, searching for the food that we all need. Let us gather round the table, come and eat. Threads woven space and time. Underneath the lights they sing a song. Every night we wonder, could it be anyone but you? Whatever you brought here tonight, we will feast and find the light, draining every cup of joy and grief. Only God knows why we all stumbled in this dining hall, searching for the food that we all need. Let us gather round the table, come and eat. Welcome, friend, for now we share a name, a family of strangers, one and all. Gathered here, neighbors for a night. Let us fight a different fight beyond these walls. But this our meal, it is an act of war. We'll settle the score and raise a toast. The dark and dead, they've had their part to play. They will make way for another host. Whatever you brought here tonight, we will feast and find the light. In every cup of joy and grief. Only God knows why we all stumbled in this dining hall, searching for the food that we all need. Let us gather round the table. Come and eat.
Any shout outs that you want to guys do? Like, if you guys got any shows coming up or any new merch coming out? Just
Have you seen that video of Timothy Chalamet? He's like shouting out a million people. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
No, it's like a 30
I'm like,
minute.
shout out Nosferatu, shout out Cal Orlok, shout out. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Has anyone seen that yet? I really
I
want to
just
see
saw
it.
it, yeah.
Did you like it?
Oh, it's-
Mike was talking
it
It
about
looks
it earlier.
horrifying. But
It's creepy. It's
Yeah.
not horrifying.
I don't think you'd like it.
okay, that doesn't really
You don't
surprise
think
me.
you'd
But
like
I was kind of curious.
I'd go. I think
don't
you'd
know.
like it.
I don't
Okay.
know. Anyway, what are we talking about
Sometimes
I
I
don't
like
know.
creepy stuff.
Just
Anything
shout
you want? Go
shout
check us out in
anything.
Nosferatu.
You guys are
We're the dead people.
We're the dead people. Where can people follow you? Do you want promote any shows that you got coming up or
Yeah.
anything like that?
We are playing in Murfreesboro at Hop Springs, so not too far from Nashville proper on the 31st.
Well, we're gonna do it, right? We're gonna have an
Nashville
official.
proper.
We're gonna have official sign off. Like
Or do
you're
I
gonna
say
be
it
like,
now?
go for it. Or are we doing it right
Oh
now?
no, it's
This
like
is it.
it's currently happening.
We're doing it.
This
Okay,
is
never
the
mind.
sign off.
Continue.
No,
It's
someone
going.
else
You're
do
killing
it
us.
because I was doing a bad job.
you're doing
You go.
great.
No,
No,
I
you're doing
wasn't.
great.
It's the 31st. You said.
The 31st of January, we are playing in Murfreesboro at Hop Springs.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
So that's our next like in town gig.
Sweet.
So that's happening.
sweet. It's in my calendar.
Oh, sweet.
That's great.
Yay.
That's cool.
You can follow us at the Arcadian Wild on all the things.
And
Except-
TikTok.
Oh,
Except
and
Twitter
TikTok.
or
Yeah,
X.
not to,
We don't have that anymore, do we? Maybe we do. I don't know.
We do have Twitter, just we don't do anything.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, at the Arcadian Wild.
All right.
Can I shout
Sounds
something
good.
out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bailey's band, Downriver Collective, just finished making a record and it sounds great.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah, thanks for throwing that.
Eli was our assistant producer, and he also played bass.
Amazing.
Yes, he was promoted to assistant producer after all the
Wow.
producing he did. We were like, okay, we need to make
Cool.
this official.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard a lot about it.
That'll hopefully be out this year.
Very cool.
And so, hey, another shout out. Eli has a band, Dallas
Yes.
Ugly. Their first single comes out February 6th
Which
for
one is
their
it?
brand new album, Circumstances, February 6th.
Cool.
They were one of, not that, okay, Olivia Rodrigo was like all my top songs this year, but the year before, Dallas Ugly.
Okay.
Was,
If anyone's going to be you, I guess Olivia makes sense. That's good. You can take that. Very cool. Very exciting. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you so much for having us.
And I have never walked alone.